Welcome to Tesla Shorts Time Daily, episode 521. I'm Patrick in Vancouver. Today is June 24th, 2026. Let's dive into today's Tesla news. Cybertruck becomes the only 2026 pickup to earn IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus after avoiding every pedestrian collision in daytime and nighttime tests. Tesla reported that the Cybertruck avoided every collision in IIHS pedestrian front crash prevention tests across daytime, nighttime, and multiple angles. It was the sole pickup to receive the highest 2026 award. The result highlights how the vehicle's sensor suite and braking calibration performed under controlled conditions that replicate real-world encounters. The IIHS rating provides an independent benchmark separate from NHTSA 5-star scores. Listeners should watch for whether the same hardware stack translates to unsupervised operation metrics later this year. While the Cybertruck shows strong safety hardware results, a look back at Tesla's early hardware decisions reveals how those foundations were built. The Fortune profile details how Straubel's initial battery-focused proposal was rejected before he reframed it as a side project that scaled into Tesla's core energy storage and powertrain business. The article traces the shift from early skepticism to the company's current valuation. It underscores how iterative hardware development at the cell level supported later vehicle programs. The piece also notes Straubel's subsequent work on redwood materials, which now recycles battery materials at industrial scale. From early company building stories to current analyst views on the stock, UBS maintained its hold rating without issuing a new price target in the latest note. The firm cited ongoing questions around vehicle margin trends and the timeline for new programs. The rating follows recent delivery data and does not reflect any shift in the bank's modeling assumptions. Investors will look to the next earnings call for updated guidance on energy storage and services revenue. Analysts' caution on margins pairs with a closer look at real-world repair economics. The report details how Tesla body panels and structural components carry higher replacement costs than comparable parts on legacy vehicles. Specific examples include front-end assemblies and door modules that require specialized calibration after installation. The article notes that parts availability and certified repair networks influence total out-of-pocket expenses for owners. Higher repair costs can affect insurance premiums and long-term ownership calculations. Repair costs tie directly into the longer-term ownership questions we explore next. Repair costs sit outside the usual efficiency and range conversations, yet directly shape whether buyers repeat purchase or switch brands after the first incident. A front-end module replacement that requires sensor recalibration and structural adhesive work can exceed the deductible on many policies, turning a minor parking lot tap into a several $1,000s event. The same vertical integration that trims assembly labor also concentrates replacement part pricing power inside one supplier network, so discounts available to high-volume body shops on other marquets do not always appear here. Legacy manufacturers spread repair knowledge across thousands of independent shops that stock interchangeable panels and publish standardized labor times. Tesla's approach keeps proprietary calibration routines and part numbers inside its own ecosystem, which speeds initial quality control but lengthens the tail of post-collision logistics. Over a 5-year ownership cycle, the cumulative effect appears in residual values and insurance quotes rather than EPA window stickers. Ownership realities lead us to new vehicle testing sightings. A Tesla Semi was photographed carrying additional sensor arrays consistent with autonomous validation hardware. The sighting occurred on public roads and suggests continued testing of the Class 8 truck's driver assistance stack. The Driven reports no official comment from Tesla on deployment timelines. Observers will track whether the same hardware path used in passenger vehicles scales to the heavier platform. SpaceX confirmed StarMind as the name for its planned AI satellite constellation aimed at 1 million orbital compute nodes. The system would place inference hardware directly in orbit rather than relying on terrestrial facilities. Teslarati notes the architecture could reduce latency for certain workloads while shifting power and cooling demands away from ground-based sites. The announcement ties into broader plans for high-bandwidth satellite links already used by Starlink. Elon Musk confirmed the orbital compute approach would make Earth data centers obsolete for targeted inference tasks. The constellation builds on existing Starlink infrastructure for data transmission between nodes. No deployment timeline was provided in the initial announcement. From commercial truck testing to passenger vehicle software updates, a driver recorded the software shifting lanes to accommodate a motorcycle overtaking on the highway. The behavior matched earlier community clips of similar courtesy maneuvers. The clip shows the system interpreting dynamic road users without explicit driver input. Owners note the action reduces the need for manual intervention in mixed traffic. The same software version read a "right lane keep moving" sign as applying to the exit lane and began braking. The driver used the accelerator to override. The incident illustrates how sign interpretation remains a variable in highway exit scenarios. Teslarati posted the video for comparison with future point releases. Teslarati flagged an imminent point release of the v14.3.4 branch. The post did not include changelog details but signaled continued iteration on the current supervised stack. Owners tracking release cadence expect incremental fixes for edge cases seen in recent clips. The update path remains separate from any unsupervised regulatory timeline. Software behavior on the road connects to fresh Model Y variants entering the lineup. Reports indicate Tesla is preparing a longer-range Model Y variant for the US to replace the departed Model X in the lineup. The move would maintain a higher capacity option without reintroducing the older 3-row platform. No official confirmation or pricing details have been released. The change would affect fleet and family buyers who previously chose the Model X for range. The review examines the longer wheelbase Model YL configured with 7 seats and priced near $80,000. The Driven tests real-world space, ride quality, and efficiency on Australian roads. The video compares cargo flexibility against standard Model Y variants and notes the added mass effect on range. Viewers can assess whether the stretch addresses family hauling needs without moving to a larger platform. The Model YL adds a 3rd row while retaining the core platform dimensions of the standard vehicle. Efficiency measurements in the review account for the extra seating and wheelbase stretch. No official Tesla confirmation accompanied the independent test footage. New model planning brings us to manufacturing and content rankings. The Model 3 again led the annual American-made index despite broader EV sales slowdowns. The ranking factors domestic content, assembly location, and supplier geography. The article notes that 2 previously high-ranking Tesla models dropped from the list this year. Continued leadership depends on sustained U.S. production volumes at Fremont and Texas. A Reddit user observed that a pre-Juniper Model Y lacked the audible pedestrian warning present on other recent Tesla models. The post notes the absence even when standing directly beside the vehicle. The discussion raises questions about hardware revisions across production years. Owners may check their specific build dates if local regulations require minimum sound output. The observation came from direct testing in a quiet environment with the vehicle stationary. No Tesla response was posted in the thread regarding the specific build configuration. The thread prompted other owners to verify their own vehicles for the same trait. A Tesla entered a Beverly Hills playground area and caused damage in an incident captured on video. The New York Post reports no immediate details on driver status or vehicle mode. Local authorities are investigating the sequence of events. Such events draw renewed attention to vehicle control systems in low-speed urban settings. Video footage showed the vehicle crossing into the playground boundary before stopping. No injuries were reported in the initial coverage of the incident. Tesla is rolling the parked vehicle blind spot alert to additional models beyond the initial launch group. The feature uses ultrasonic and camera data to warn occupants before opening doors into traffic. Not a Tesla app notes the update improves protection for both vehicle occupants and passing cyclists or pedestrians. The expansion follows software validation on earlier hardware variants. The alert activates when the vehicle is stationary and detects approaching objects on either side. Rollout timing varies by software branch and vehicle configuration. A user asked for detailed logs of Denver to Las Vegas routes, including specific charge point and supercharger locations. Respondents shared sequences of stops with measured times and energy added. The discussion highlights how current network density affects planning for Western U.S. travel. The thread offers practical data points beyond manufacturing range estimates. Multiple participants posted exact kilowatt-hours figures and dwell times at each charger. Route variations included both major corridors and secondary stops for flexibility. A former truck owner documented charging costs at 13 cents per kilowatt hours versus prior fuel expenses. The post tallies yearly savings after 3 years of Silverado use. The comparison includes home charging convenience and reduced maintenance visits. The account provides a concrete example of operating cost shifts for high mileage drivers. Savings calculations factored in both electricity rates and avoided oil changes. The owner noted the Model Y handled comparable daily and long-distance duties. Before we go, keep an eye on whether the extended range Model Y receives any official timeline or pricing details in the coming weeks. And that's everything worth knowing about Tesla today. TSLA closed at $381.61, down $23.44. 5.8%. If the show saves you time, a quick rating on Apple Podcast or Spotify goes a long way. You can also find us on X at Tesla Shorts Time. I'm Patrick in Vancouver. I'll see you tomorrow. And before you go, this show is part of the NERA Network, a family of daily podcasts covering tech, science, markets, and more. If you enjoyed today's episode, give OmniView a listen, a balanced daily world historical briefing that takes every side seriously. You can explore the whole lineup at neuranetwork.com. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.